wanna be with you. Ay, I wanna be with. I wanna be with you. Ay, I wanna be with.
Hey everyone, let's jump right into this tutorial. So today I'm going to be using the Omega Nylon in a size 2, and instead of using the brand recommended size 9 needle, I'm going to be using a size 5 boy metal hook, which is also a 1.9 millimeter hook in the metric system. To get started, we're going to be making a foundation chain of 200. So we're just going to make 200 chains, and then we're going to come back at the end of it. Now that we've completed the 200 chains for the foundation, I'm just going to measure it against my foundation chains for the other half of the do-rag, since it will be completed in 2 pieces, 2 identical pieces. After we finish our 200 chains, we are now going to make 1 additional chain, bringing it to 201 chains to turn, and then we're going to make our single crochets going all the way across. This is one of the parts of crochet that I dislike. Some people like to go through 1 loop on their foundation chain. I like to go through both for this pattern, just because it gives it a more tighter uniform look, in my opinion, and you'll see that at the end when you connect both halves together. I'm just using my thumb here to help stabilize the other end, because it helps in the beginning when making these stitches. So we're going to continue making the single crochets all the way to the end of the 200 chain. Now that we've finished our 200 single crochets, I'm just gonna go back over it just to make sure that everything is straight and nothing is twisted, and everything appears to be. Now that we've finished that, I'm going to start off with a chain 4. The first 3 chains will count as the first HDC with the 1 chain in between, or space. I'm going to skip 3 single crochets for this first set of stitches, because the first one kinda, if this makes sense, will be a first stitch for the 3 chains. Then the other 2 is what we would naturally skip going forward. So going forward, you're just going to chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, and HDC. The thread is pretty small, so I'm trying to zoom in as much as possible, but just chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, HDC. When I go into the space, I go through both loops. I do not pick up only one loop. And what I mean by that is the 2 V's on top of your stitch, I pick up both of them, similar to what we did in the beginning with the chains. So we're just going to continue doing the HDC, chain 1, skip 2 single crochets, HDC, all the way until the end of the row. And we'll meet back to turn. This last stitch was a little bit of a struggle for me, just to get the needle in. Some of the struggles are crocheting with fine thread. Now that we finally got that stitch in, you're going to make 4 chains to turn, and you're going to, once again, just go into the same HDC. So you're going to continue with the 1 chain in between, HDC in the previous HDC, 1 chain in between, HDC in the previous HDC, and I'll see you guys at the end of the row. Now that we're approaching the end of the second row, when you get to your last set of stitches, you want to put your HDC in the 3rd chain, which will be at the top, and it will help for a nice, neat, smooth end. I know some people just like to go around the chains. I like to go directly into the 3rd chain because it helps with the straighter edge. So we're going to continue to make our 4 chains to turn, and we're going to go all the way to the end of the row with our HDC, chain 1, HDC, and HDC. We're going to do this for 26 rows, and I'll meet you guys after that. when making your HDCs, once again, you just want to make sure that you're going through both of the loops on top. When you make a stitch, it kind of has a V loop. There's one called the front loop and one called the back loop. We want to work through both loops once again. Now that we've finished our 26 rows, I'm just going to look over everything and make sure my stitching and everything is neat, nothing is out of place. And now I'm going to bring in the other half and just make sure they match up nice and evenly. Now that I know everything is matching up size-wise, corner to corner, I'm going to count down how many boxes I'm going to crochet up to until I make my chain for the strap. So I'm basically counting down 39 boxes, putting my stitch marker so I know not to pass that point and make additional stitches, and from that stitch marker I'm going to make the chains. Now I'm placing my stitch marker. As you can see, that's the other half that's fully completed with the strap. Now that we've crocheted down to the stitch marker, I'm going to make a chain length of 230 chains. So we're just going to start the chains and I'll see you at the end. Now that we finish the 230 chains, we're going to add an additional 6 chains, bring it to 236 to turn. So after you make the 6 chains, you want to make an HDC in the 6th chain from the hook. Then you want to continue to make the 1 chain HDC, 1 chain HDC pattern, but instead of skipping single crochets like we did at our original foundation chain, we're going to skip 1 chain in between. So I created the 1 chain. I'm just going to count to the 2nd chain and place my HDC there. 1, 2. Sorry for the lighting, guys. Not sure why I was doing that randomly. One chain, and then I'll count 1, 2 and place my HDC in the 2nd chain. 1 chain, count count to second chain and place my HDC there. See, this is how it looks when you place your stitch in one loop. I don't like the bagginess of it or how stretchy it makes it, so I like to go through two or both. There's a different tension you get when you go through both loops instead of one. And for this project, the both loop method works better. So we're going to continue this row 28 all the way back until the end, as we've been doing in our previous rounds. Once we get back to the end, we're just going to do our normal chain 4, turn, and continue to place our HDCs and HDC of the previous row. Chain 1, HDC, placed in HDC, chain 1, until we have a total of 9 rows for the strap. I'll meet you back at the end of the strap. Now that we're at the end of the row, we're going to place our HDC in the third chain to end the last row of our strap. In total, you should have 35 rows, 26 rows for the base of the do-rag, 9 additional rows for the strap of the do-rag. I do recommend that you don't cut your string at the end because you could continue it straight into the top seam. For the top seam, we're going to be placing 2 single crochets in each space that you see. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're going to put 2 single crochets in every HDC gap you have here for the top seam. And I'll see you guys back at the end. Now that I've completed the top seam, I just want to show you guys how it looks when I open it up. Now I'm just making sure both of the sides line up nice and even, and we're going to start to slip stitch our way through the single crochets on both sides. So you're going to take your time on this back seam to make sure that your single crochets go through the corresponding holes on both sides. So you're just going to single crochet all the way through the end of the 200 single crochets, and I'll see you in a few. Now that we finished the back seam, I'm just gonna look over it, make sure everything is straight, there's no gaps, there's no buckling, and then I'm gonna flip it right side out. I like to do the edging of single crochet around the whole do-rag on this side. It's just my preference. I like the way that the stitches look on the right side. I didn't want the back end of the single crochet shown on the right side, if that makes sense. But it's your preference. Once again, I do freeform videos and you do not have to follow me to the T. I'm going to start by placing 2 single crochets in each space as we've been doing for the top seam. Now I'm going to place 2 single crochets in every space until we get to the corner. When we get to the corner, we're going to put 4 single crochets into that one space. That way we get a nice perfect square edge. So we're basically going to be doing 2 single crochet in all spaces and 4 single crochet in all corners. That way we get a nice 90-degree corner. You're not putting any chains in between the stitches. It's just 2 single crochets per hole. We're now approaching the last stitch in the corner, and I'm going to put 4 single crochets in that one square gap, and you will see the nice 90-degree angle I was talking about. After you do 4 single crochets, you just want to continue doing 2 single crochets per hole until you get to that joint of where the strap and the body of the do-rag connect. Okay everyone, we've made it to the junction of where the main part of the do-rag connects with the straps, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in that space and continue with our 2 single crochets in each gap, continuing all the way around. So you'll put 1 single crochet in the gap of the junction, and then you'll continue with 2 single crochets in each gap, your 4 single crochets in all corners. And I'll meet you guys at the end. We've made it to the end, guys. So we've did the top seam, the back seam, and we've did the edging all the way around. So at this point, I'm just making sure everything is nice and smooth, things are meeting up evenly, and depending on your preference, me, I like to wear the do-rag with the seam on the inside. I know some people prefer either way, but I like personally the seam on the inside. And yeah, this is what we have. I'm actually going to make a couple of crochet designs to add to it. If you would like to see that, let me know in the comments. This is actually the first do-rag I made. It's a mix of nylon thread, the same size that I used in this video, and a polyamide shimmer thread. It's extra long because I have extra long threads and I just want it to be extra. I also found, I think these are stitch markers, but yeah, I found this in one of my craft closets and decided to add it, and I love the way it looked. The purple do-rag is about, I want to say half of the green do-rag addition in length, so it's 1.5 times the green do-rag in length. So this is the do-rag I use as a template. I bought it from my local beauty supply. I use it just to make sure I have the right length and width of the average do-rag. And yeah, that basically wraps up this tutorial. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you would like more content, if you have any recommendations, put them in the comments. I'll be sure to respond back. Have a great one, everyone. Till the next time, happy crocheting.